Welcome to the Olympian Mindset podcast. Today's guest is someone who lives and breathes the power of mentorship and growth. Simone Lee is the CEO of Tigas Alliance, a fast-growing pharmacy network in Malaysia. But what truly sets her apart is her passion for empowering others. For over a decade, she's led the Entrepreneurs Organization in Malaysia, or EO, their mentorship program, shaping the journeys of countless business owners and emerging leaders. Simone is known for her clarity, warmth, and bold mindset shifts. Whether in the boardroom or mentoring circles, her journey is a masterclass in leading with empathy, building winning teams, and turning challenges into breakthroughs. If you've ever felt stuck or uncertain about your next move, Simone's story will show you how mentorship, mindset, and action can unlock real transformation. Simone, welcome to the Olympian Mindset.
Thank you.
Okay, yeah, tell me about the big pitch. So you're going to the big pitch for mindset
So
wise.
yeah, I teach that. The
Pitches.
reason why I teach this is because I've early on in the business, I put in front of investors, people I need to convince, because when you have something new
Yeah.
that's completely disruptive to the industry that we were in, we are in actually,
Yeah.
health. You need to find people who are your cheerleaders in every room.
Yeah.
At least have, an anchor support as when you do a pitch. I mean, that's
Anchor support. I like that.
and
They
that's
tell you
what
to
I
get
teach.
an anchor investor.
Yeah, but
Anchor support. That's a new one.
And and that's part of the thing that I developed was the fact that the knowing when you go into a room where you're gonna find that anchor, because that gives, it's a two-way thing. Once it gives you somewhat of a validation that somebody is acknowledging the tract of argument, or even your cell. When you have a nodding person in the room, it sort of like gives you more comfort that, okay, you're good. So what I teach is actually to be able to go into a room and find that person. And usually that person may not be the influencer to the deal. It may be just a person that is uniquely positioned there to be very open. Maybe you're lucky there's a very open person in the room, someone that you resonate with. And sometimes, how with human beings you get an instant connection with people.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
like us.
Yeah.
When we first met, we were like, boop. I was like, yeah.
And you can't
Right.
really explain it, and I do explain it in a lot of the sessions that I have with entrepreneurs or people that I present to. It's my fundamental belief that people judge you subconsciously in the first
absolutely
5 seconds.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. And you don't even know that you're doing it, because you show up and something about this person tells you, okay, we can be friends, or nah.
Or it's the energy, right? The energy is
and
it's
it
repelling,
also
right?
it
Sometimes.
just defaults to subconsciously whether it's friend or foe.
Yeah.
You show up.
Totally.
In ancient times, whether are you going to be eaten,
Yeah,
where you turn and you run,
Yeah.
or you stay and fight.
Yeah,
So I
instinct.
think it's just the instinct, and
Totally.
and a lot of people say, no, I don't judge. Everybody judges.
Everyone.
Everybody
Yeah.
judges the moment you walk into the room. And I think the trick, and I call it a trick, is to understand that you are doing this, and first of all acknowledge. And the interesting thing is when I acknowledge that I'm doing this, you then set the premise that everybody else in the room is doing it. And so when you show up into a room, and let's talk about the pitch, and I was in a room yesterday, it went badly, by the way.
Okay, why did it go badly?
It went badly because I was in the wrong room.
Okay, wrong room, wrong people.
Yeah,
crowd.
wrong crowd. And
Okay.
in a wrong crowd, what a lot of people are trying to say, why doesn't it stick? Why did I fail? Why did the message not go through? Why did this person not buy what I was selling? Well,
Oh. Yeah.
in the circumstance I was in yesterday, I did the homework. I did the prep,
Mm-hmm.
because they say you have to prepare, and I do that. I judiciously. And it's a discipline of mine,
Yeah.
to know who's in the room.
Yeah.
But you can only do that from the
Surface
standpoint
level.
that what's in the public that you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And when I went into that room yesterday, I started, there were 3 from our side and 7. It's a large corporation, very well-known one in Malaysia.
Okay.
And was silence, and I started asking. You see, the thing about finding out whether you are in the right environment is critical
Mm-hmm.
for you to get the outcome. I always tell people that there's a few things that govern how you get a positive outcome. One is the environment.
Yeah.
The second are the players, the personalities.
Yeah.
And the third is your conduct and your state, your mindset, which is why the Olympian mindset is critical
Yeah.
to getting what you want. Details.
Right.
But that's only one component
Okay.
of getting what you want. And so when I was in this room, I started asking questions about the philosophy of the company, what they were after, their market share. And very quickly in the first 5 minutes, I realized, it's very different from the pitch that I've actually prepared. Right?
Yeah.
But it's no fault of anybody's.
Yeah.
And the first thing I was telling myself is, I'm not going to be the victim here. That means I'm not going to say, oh shit, I prepared wrongly. I got this all wrong. You know how it is
You're
when
already
we
there. Yeah.
when we spiral into this, like, oh my God, I've got it all wrong. They're not going to buy this. I can hear this negative voice.
You felt it, huh?
Yeah, I mean,
How long into the meeting did you feel that?
When he was talking, this guy, and obviously he didn't give me his card. Everybody else in the room gave me their cards.
That's interesting.
And they said, "Oh, I got a card," but they give it.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, alarm bells.
Okay.
And then
so there's resistance already. You felt
not really resistance. There was not much rapport. I felt. There was a
Right.
lady sitting at the end of the corner that was really friendly,
Yeah.
and she was mainly in the business development.
Okay.
I mean, I think maybe in her what do you call that, in focus or discipline, she needed to be very open to ideas.
Right.
This guy seemed to be the leader, and he actually was very measured,
Okay.
and there's it's a sign of a very good control, influence. And I felt, okay, he's the guy that you need to convince in the room, because he was the one speaking. Everybody else was like, oh,
Yeah.
maybe you should answer that.
Yeah.
I take the lead. So
Yeah.
there's negative voice, and it's important, I think, from my experience,
Yeah.
to shut it down, because I was telling myself, literally when he was talking, I was saying, okay, doesn't quite gel with what I have to show, but let me, as he was talking, I was doing 2 things: listening to him somewhat, but I wasn't really listening. I was trying to kind of filter out some of the slides I had already.
Okay. So you're like on the roll, like adapting right now.
Yes.
According to real life situations.
Yes.
Right.
And that again is what what I like to say.
Yeah.
I teach, because
Yeah.
people say, oh my God, how do we deal with this thing?
Right.
80%, we've got it right. We tick, 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 tick,
Right.
And then
You can't foresee everything.
20% is
Yeah.
default to resourcefulness.
Yeah.
So resourcefulness is how.
Adaptability.
And this is where I think Olympian mindset is important.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You show up, you look at the environment and the players, and you go, okay, what can I work with?
Yeah.
In every situation, you have to have crazy self-belief that you can master this.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So I went in there and I just told myself, okay, I need to filter up some of the slides. So I literally, in the presentation, sort of skipped through a lot of these slides that I thought would set the tone of why we were pitching what we're pitching.
Yeah.
And he went up one even for me, because he then I was going quickly,
Yeah.
and he was just throwing the question at me.
Okay.
Even before I finished the slides, which I thought I outpaced the slides,
Right.
he was throwing that question. So I actually
Wow.
anticipated that he was going to ask this.
Yep. Pretty sharp, huh? This guy.
Yeah,
He would just
he
switched on.
no
And, yeah.
kudos to the team. I think
Right.
they were very clear on what they wanted.
Okay.
We were just in the wrong room. And I think fundamentally the learning from this is I felt, oh God, all this is like, there was an effort, and usually people say, okay, God, another rejection, or, it didn't stick, and then,
Yeah.
was I throwing spaghetti on the walls,
Yeah.
trying? And I went back and in the postmortem, and I do a mental postmortem in every situation.
By yourself?
By myself.
By yourself. Okay.
Basically, what worked, what didn't work,
Yeah.
and what I could accelerate, and what
Right.
I learned a lot about myself.
Yeah.
Well, I learned a lot that, I was resourceful. I just took a minute and to had a coffee on my own after that,
Yeah.
asking myself, okay, what could have gone better?
Yeah.
Nothing. Tried,
Right.
pitched,
Right.
but I felt I knew what their direction was very clearly.
You learn through their feedback.
Yeah. And I also, through the questioning for the first 5 minutes of nobody presenting in the room, because we were waiting, I think we were waiting on somebody that didn't attend, I managed to get out some information
Okay.
about how they were set up, how they were focusing on their business line.
Okay.
And then that's critical for a lot of people that go into meetings. The other thing that I always say is we are come prepared and we are so mentally ready to just show up there and regurgitate and just vomit out.
Yeah.
We just show up and
You want to
vomit.
get it done with, right? Most people. Is
Yeah,
like,
and they're like,
just
I'm
get it
there,
done.
and then the first slide is
Yeah.
who are we, what are we,
Yeah.
our company profile, how
Yeah.
big we are, and then here is what we have to sell.
Yeah. Yeah.
But and I always say to people, nobody cares. Nobody gives a toss
Yeah.
about what you are and what you have to sell. Because everyone goes into the room saying, I have a problem.
Yeah. How are you gonna help
I
me?
have a need.
How are you gonna help me?
And I read something brilliant
Yeah.
the other day. What is it that we know our product to be? Is it that we're selling a 1-inch drill bit, or does the customer has a 1-inch hole they want to fill? Because
Mhm.
usually what we do is we invent something and we go, okay, this solves your problem.
Yeah.
So I think the mindset throughout the journey of me as an entrepreneur, I can only speak for myself,
Yeah.
is
you can't speak
learning.
more than for yourself because you're a professional mentor. You mentored a lot of top leaders for EO, right? EO Entrepreneurs, for those that don't know, Entrepreneurs Organization, and they're one of the largest mentorship platforms or groups out there. But I love what EO does because I believe, but I had a issue with it because you already have to be on your way to the top. You already have to be really established. But then most of us aren't even there yet. So I believe the real mentorship, the rest of us really need that, what EO gets, right?
Yeah.
So that's why I was so excited when I met you. And I'm like, wow. And then also being a female leader in what's usually a boys' club in entrepreneurship. Usually, right? Typically, and you've navigated all of the crocodiles early on. You're one of the early birds, right? Like in the 90s, 2000s,
Yeah.
and you're there, throwing up punches with all these guys. So that's another thing that I wanted to talk about with you, like how is it like and all that. So really exciting. Sorry, back to what we were talking about.
Yeah, I thought EO is one. I think EO has been very instrumental in my growth as an entrepreneur. I've been a member this is my 19th year.
Oh, wow.
This membership.
Okay.
So I guess that puts me into the class of tenured members, they call
Yeah.
it. Very politely calling us a bit elderly, to say the least. But I think what EO
Wise.
has gifted me,
Mm.
gifted, and I say
Yeah.
gifted, is a lot of community, a lot of friendships,
Yeah.
sharing, and part of what EO does is they have these groups that are informal, well, formally structured within EO, but
Yeah.
informal in the eyes of other business owners. So we
Yeah.
meet once a month,
Yeah.
and it's called a forum, and it is back in the old days of EO, is meant to be like a board of directors or advisors, or not
Yeah.
advisors, we're not trained not to advise, speaking from experience, gestalt. But I think because we have been together for so long, my forum has been together for 19 years.
Yeah.
And, you can literally imagine we have a member that was not married, now married with 3 kids.
Yeah.
And then one of my forum mates, the kids are already in the business, second gen.
Oh wow.
And we had people come and go, but I think what is so rich about this entire experience is I must admit that it is very lonely as an entrepreneur. I think
Really.
when you even
Absolutely.
if you go into like networking groups, and everyone you feel is there for agenda.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
so what EO does uniquely is it gives you the safe space to be able to grow.
Yeah.
I think that in a nutshell, that's what it is. I mean, throughout the years, there have been reiterations of rules and training and
Okay.
the structure. I mean, when I
Yeah.
first joined, we had to go through a day's training
Okay.
to learn to speak, and I was like, "Hello." I mean, I'm leader, and I've got a team.
Yeah.
I've got 50, 60 people working for me. Why do I need to go to training to learn how to speak?
You already know how. You've done
Yeah,
it. You're a
of
pro.
course, of course. I
Right.
mean, but I realized that there is excellence in the structure.
Yeah.
There has been
Marginal
practice,
gains.
all
Marginal gains.
over the world.
Yeah.
And so that was my first epiphany of being very open to learn about something. I think that we are too quick to assume. And again, this is the thing that I always share when people come and say, "Oh, I can't do that because I don't have capital. I can't do this because someone doesn't like me." I mean, that's a natural, self-limiting assumption or belief.
Absolutely.
And this is what I think being in the right mindset helps.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one for EO. The second thing that I think you touched upon is being in the game early. I think I started my business when I was 28 years old,
Mm-hmm.
when I did not want to become a lawyer. I'm a lawyer by profession. I was a horrible lawyer.
How long did you practice after you graduated?
A year and a half or 2 years.
And you just okay. That's very new, very green still, and you figured out right away.
I
it's not
know,
for
I
you,
know.
right?
My master, and my lawyer, who is, every lawyer to be able to get called to the bar in Malaysia
Yeah.
needs to go into pupillage.
Yeah.
Needs a master. My master is a good friend, and
Okay.
he just moved in from a big firm to start up his own firm. So green, and kudos to him. He taught me. He was a real master in itself. You learn about all these people that actually go into large firms and make coffee, photocopying, and all that. I did none of that.
Oh, okay.
I did a lot of research. He brought me to all the meetings,
Yeah.
and he basically gave me a very good training, hands-on training.
Okay.
And because of him, I always laugh whenever my colleagues or staff actually draft anything, I can tell between a point size 11 and a 12,
Oh,
Arial
wow.
12 or 11, and I can see spacing. That means if a paragraph is not
Yeah.
drafted properly and it's not justified, I can say, okay, there's a line missing here. I say,
Oh,
how do you
wow.
know? I say, redraft it. So it's these anal things that you pick up because of
OCD,
OCD.
OCD-ness.
But I think that's I'll use the
Okay.
word discipline.
Right.
So Law and I didn't like. Maybe I convinced myself that I didn't like law, but
Okay.
I think the training and the process of thinking
Yeah.
was actually very beneficial later on in life, and I didn't
Yeah.
really realize this.
So your schooling and the training come in handy. Legal, like
Yeah.
something it's like finance, accounting. Most don't end up doing that, but that's a great like a base to have.
Yes.
So legal is also a great base to have.
I think it's a
right?
great base, and also because I honored my parents. My dad is a university professor.
Yeah. Okay.
And
So he's a teacher.
yeah,
All right.
and
Yeah.
for him, success means to be good in studies. There was no like I'm good at sports, and that was like his like antithesis. Like, oh my
Yeah.
God, studies is everything.
Yeah.
Because
Typical Asian parents.
yeah, but that's leverage.
Yeah.
That's leverage. You get a good education.
Yeah.
You get a good job.
Yep.
You stick with a good job.
Yep.
You climb up the corporate ladder, and you become the top. I mean, that's the very linear kind of progression that's in his mind. Now, if you want to do something
not
like
uncommon for parents.
yeah,
so,
I want to go hospitality, be a great chef, or like
Yeah,
my
yeah,
youngest
yeah,
son now, he
Yeah.
he wants to go into music.
Okay.
I mean, those days,
Oh.
like he would be, oh my God, what are you doing?
Cannot put food on the table or a roof over your head or
Yeah.
sports. Same thing with my parents always told me. Yeah, bicycle never put food on the table or a roof over your
Same.
head.
Yeah.
And now with us is the next generation. TikTok, what? You're gonna be a pro, like, the chance of like, right?
Yeah.
Or you're gonna
yeah.
be that or this. But the truth is, we don't know what the next generation is gonna strive at.
Yes.
That's why it's come down to mindset and skill set,
Yes.
right?
And
know.
honestly, I think mindset and skill sets, picking up to these 2 points, is something that AI can't take away from us. I mean, AI.
Absolutely, AI is stealing all the jobs.
Yeah.
except,
We're losing. Yeah.
except people,
Yeah.
skilled people. People. What's the word for it? Skill sets for engaging with people, networking, for example, right?
Yes. And
AI can't take away networking.
I think one of my mates said the other day, you can actually have a conversation with AI. Yeah, great, but there's no soul to it.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of things that you pick up in a setting, and this is what being all the they would say new age kind of therapy actually drives us to be mindful, to be
Mindfulness.
present.
Yeah.
And that's all that is, just so that we can be very aware of our surroundings,
Yeah.
very aware of body language,
Mm-hmm.
being able to pick up all these, like I said, subconscious messages from the other human being. You can't
Yeah.
do that with an AI.
Connection, real human connection.
Real human connection. And
Yeah.
people say, why do I need real human connection? Because AI can give you the information, but you're not really looking for information.
Yeah.
Not every time.
Not every time.
Yeah.
every time.
Sometimes it's just
Yeah.
having a whole space for someone,
Yeah.
listening.
Yeah.
And
Breathing
I don't
together,
think you
breathing.
can convince yourself that AI is listening.
Yeah.
Listening with the intent that they have
Yeah.
some form of compassion and empathy.
Absolutely.
So I think that part of it,
Yeah.
coming back to skill sets and coming
Yeah.
back to my dad, was the biggest influence when I started the business. I didn't have any interest in law.
Oh.
Going into healthcare, my late mother as a pharmacist, one of the I think earlier pharmacist. Pharmacist as a profession is back then. There were only few pharmacists in Malaysia, so she was one of the few.
Mm.
And back then, pharmacies were driven by not chains, but they're independent, and they
Oh,
were making
yeah.
a very good living.
Yeah, okay.
And I remember sitting in the kitchen table and on the kitchen table, and I asked her. I said, I don't really know what I want to do with my life. I know what I don't want to do.
Mm.
I don't want to do law. And she asked me, I said, why? I mean, I said, yeah, I probably can do it. I probably can go and draft agreements or look at contracts or
No.
I didn't go to court, so I did a lot of corporate
Okay.
deals. So the
Corporate law.
loans, financials, corporate deals.
Yeah.
I didn't really like the energy that came with it. Like, I would go to meetings and everybody would be poking into a document and
Yeah.
going, okay, this is not it, and that's not it.
There's no passion, maybe, right?
Yeah,
Is that-
I suppose so. I believe I was
Is that-
better at, I felt I was better at communicating with the other side.
Okay.
Maybe exploring a very different solution, and only to be told that, oh, that's a commercial, decision.
Mm-hmm.
That's not your, line. I mean, you're supposed to look at the law. You're not supposed to give them this solution because that's a commercial
Yeah.
decision that the entrepreneur, business
not-
owner, or whatever took.
Not in your purview.
Correct. You're supposed to
Yeah.
help them understand
Right.
maybe some risk associated. But
Yeah.
I was more excited, I think, with the ideation of a solution. So I think to me speaks a lot about my character.
You're more creative. You like creativity.
Yeah, I like creativity.
Resourcefulness plus creativity.
Yeah. And also resources is number one.
Oh,
I
it's
felt.
it is really
Is
the
it
number one.
And
Yeah.
creativity.
Yeah.
Now,
Now, do you find that Malaysians lack either or both in general compared to our rivals?
our closest rival, I will not name.
We know. Okay, none of us have to name, but yeah.
But
do we fall short or do we lack it?
No,
either.
on the
Or we have more.
on the flip side, I feel that we are very creative as a culture, as a
Yeah.
nation. I think a lot of people
I
are
agree.
just have this limiting self-belief.
Yeah.
For example,
We don't back ourselves, do we?
yeah, and we don't back ourselves, number one. And then, I feel also fellow women,
Hmm.
they apologize too much. Like, I'm sorry that this is my view.
I think
I'm
cultural,
sorry
isn't
for
it?
this.
It's cultural.
I
right?
apologize for
Right.
this. I'm
Yeah.
like,
Nothing.
it's
nothing to
it. I'm
apologize.
I don't
Yeah.
believe in bashing
Yeah.
the other sex. I don't
Yeah.
believe that like for example, International Women's Day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get International Women's Day, but I say, is there
Yeah.
an International Men's Day?
No, you didn't.
I mean, I get that we
Yeah.
empower other women. I totally get that.
Yeah.
But I mean, also stems from the fact that we ask ourselves as women, what can we do by lifting other women where we stand? We don't need a day.
Yeah.
It's done every day.
Absolutely. I think that too. It should be every day. It's just like, I hate Valentine's Day. So why do we need a day to show our love?
Yeah.
Every day should be Valentine's Day.
Yeah, then I
it's the same thing.
yeah, then I get all these wishes. I'm like, okay, I get it. And then
Yeah.
someone actually sent me and said, oh, it's because there's not enough awareness out there
Yeah.
for women
Yeah.
to be lifted or whatever. I get that maybe it's like someone created this like a hallmark thing,
Right.
that that you wish you international. But I think
Yeah.
it's a mindset, and I think wherever I go, it's International Women's Day for me, because
I
I
love
look at
that.
another woman and I
It's
go,
perfect. Yeah.
many of my mentees are women.
Yeah.
And one of the things they've said, to me, it's like, oh, Simone, you're both nurturing and you're hard.
Right.
Nurturing and hard. I'm like, yeah,
Nurturing
but
heart.
that,
Okay.
women are gifted with,
More natural
yeah,
ability.
very different
It's in the
skill
DNA.
sets
Yeah.
from I feel
Yeah.
we're better at certain things,
Of course.
right? And rather than saying, why we paid less, why men paid more, or he got the job because he's a guy. I mean, we are always, not always, I will, correct myself.
Yeah. Often.
Often feel that, it's unjust. But,
Yeah.
we look at ourselves and we go, okay, there was, I think I shared this with you the last time we met.
Yeah.
I was at a women's event, alumni event. And a woman went up there and said, "Oh, in my career, I didn't get accepted by men.
Mm-hmm.
They made, unkind remarks,
Yeah.
and then I didn't get the same opportunities,
Yeah. Yeah.
So I was like,
How do you?
interesting.
Oh.
So someone then turned to me and said, "Did you get that when you were starting your business?"
Yeah.
I'm like, probably.
Well, you had a different perspective. You didn't focus
But it's
on it.
probably just rolled down my back. I would
Yeah.
go into
You
a
ignored
meeting
it.
and then, some men would just ignore me
Yeah.
or just like not talk to me. I
Yeah.
mean, usually it happens
Right.
I think usually, in a room full of, your male CEOs, I don't know,
Yeah.
like, events that I go to, sometimes like, okay, whatever, you're a woman, I will talk to you. I mean, you get that feel.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe it doesn't come across, maybe it was not intentional, but maybe you just say, okay, I was safer, I'll talk to the men, or maybe there's like some cultural inhibitions.
Yeah.
That's fine. I mean, it's probably like, okay, whatever, I'll go and find my own tribe.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, I like that. That's a mindset. That's
It's
that's
a
the winning mindset.
and
Yeah, that right
and
there.
a lot of people are just beaten down. Imagine if
They let it get to them.
if you
huh?
go on stage to tell people that this is what you picked up,
Yeah.
you already started from that losing
Absolutely.
mindset.
Yep. I
If you,
completely
I mean,
agree.
I'll just ask you, right, from an Olympian mindset,
Yeah.
before the gun goes off, you're like, oh my God,
All
I've
these
got,
muscle are bigger than me.
bigger than me.
Oh, they push
And
out
then,
more
no,
watts.
he did the last, and then the
They're
last
all
time
world
he got,
champions. I'm not. No, it never occurred to me.
when I
Yeah.
watched a video documentary, and I'm always thrilled. I'm always curious and also fascinated with coaching,
Yeah.
the sports coaching. Because I felt that there must be something that they're teaching to be for this athlete to perform at its like over and above what they think their physical bodies can endure.
Yeah.
You're pushing until failure every time
Yeah.
for training, correct?
Yes.
But
absolutely.
in competition, you just need to leap. How do you do that? Because if you are pushing, like, how do you break records? Because when you're training, you're obviously given obviously trained to give 100%. But when you are in the arena or you're in, I suppose, the track,
Yeah.
or the velodrome for you,
Yeah.
what is it that you think of that pushes you far from failure, but
Yeah.
excel?
The irony of this is you actually push less during competition because the process of tapering and supercompensation. So when you're training, you're really deep. You're breaking down your body. It's repairing itself. You lead up to a big event, you taper. That means your body repairs itself. You actually built stronger. Like if you break your bone, and then when it heals, it's actually stronger. It's thicker, right? It's the same thing for you. It's how physiology is. You come into it, you're already stronger. So you try harder. Actually, the top again. This is for sprinters, right? The top sprinters, we are programmed to go 98%. We don't go 100% because that breaks down your form. If you see 100-meter runners, everyone's slowing down, but the winner slows down the least because they are the most relaxed. So they're the ones that actually gone 98%. Whereas the guys that slow down more, they froze up and they're less efficient, they are the ones going 100%. Same thing in cycling,
Oh,
right? So actually, it's all mindset. We go in there knowing that we had the best prep work, the best taper, and that we are automatically faster than we are in training.
wow. That's cool.
But the ones that freeze up and they don't get their best is they don't realize that, and they try hard. They try their hardest. That's why I don't like the term try your best. Malaysian media used to always say try your best, and I hated that. Whereas a Western mentality, that Australian, for example,
Enjoy.
they're winners in sports, right? Go out there and get it, mate. Go get it. Not try your best. Try your best, you're gonna fail. You're here not to try your best. You're here to get it done.
So it's
It's crazy.
so
The mindset.
before it is like your focus, you're centered,
Yeah.
and you cut off the noise. And I think that's the first time I think we met many years ago on an EO event, and I got the same trainer to come in to teach us that sporting mindset. And I think one of the things that was fascinating to me was why you do what you do. You show up, you train, you put in the hours. It's progression, it's consistency, and it's developing that muscle memory so that when you are in the, I mean, we were talking about squash then, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, when the champion goes in,
Yep.
you don't even look at the ball. It's like
Automatic.
And I was fascinated with that sharing. I thought, wow, you're so trained. You're just so precise.
Yeah.
And that actually is achieved through training and discipline, I think. And this is the other thing that I tell mentees. I think it's everybody is striving for perfection. Oh, I can't do it. It's not perfect. But actually, perfection is, I feel I'm somewhat of a perfectionist, but I feel that sometimes we default to perfection because we don't really want to face failure.
That's another thing. Well, it's the first core pillar in my Olympian mindset training coaching is failure. Especially, most people have a bad relationship with failure, but the most successful people, the difference is they have a good relationship with failure, because they fail. Hey, the champions of any industry, they fail a lot more than the non-champions, or the good also rans, right? Would you agree with that?
Yes.
So the difference is we approach failure as an opportunity to learn, as an opportunity to grow. And we know, and we just go, okay, it is part of the journey. If we don't fail, we'll never get to the top, right? I mean, you're not gonna, okay, if you're in sales, for example, tell you what, let's just say selling private jets, for example. Tell you what, you're not gonna get your first sale on your first pitch. Or if you're in wealth management, tell you what, you're not going to get your first sale. You're going to fail. You're going to get a lot more no's. And even a seasoned entrepreneur like you who's pitching, you're going to get a lot more no's.
Yeah.
And you know that.
I absolutely know that.
Just like your story just now.
Like story. Yeah.
That was kind of, in a way, it's a failure, right? Because you're not going to get funded from them.
No, absolute failure because not only that, but you kind of like, I always say, okay, where do I focus my time? Yeah. And that's a resource, my time, and it's a valuable one. Absolutely. So if I actually invested into doing the homework, ticking the box, following what I preach, and I still say I'm off the mark, then I want to have, like I said, I spend maybe a coffee doing that mental postmortem. Yeah. And maybe I allowed myself 15 minutes to say, oh crap, that was like not great time spent. Should have done, what should I have done more? Well, no, we've sort of like honed it to a team. So then I allowed myself that time I think
Yes.
people don't allow themselves that time. And
Absolutely.
it also applies to things that happen in our lives, I feel.
Yeah.
Time to grieve.
Yes, I was gonna say just the time to grieve.
Just time to grieve, just time to experience these emotions.
Mm-hmm.
And then
And reset
hit
after that.
and even if you
right?
got hit rock bottom,
Yeah.
do what you want to do.
Yeah.
And then again, I looked at the word mindset, and the mindset is after that time I've given myself, okay, that's it. Next.
Reset.
We're not gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about the learnings from that, like I just said.
Mm-hmm.
So I tell myself, okay, I got to know 6 people in the room. I got to know what they were about. I can speak better now.
Yeah.
Maybe I needed to know some of the politics that happens or who I'm going to lobby, but that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Chapter closed. Now,
You
whether
got
I want to
info.
pursue that
Mm.
or something else, but at least I know, in a context of other businesses, my experience would be valuable to another person that would be I talking to, and I'm like, oh, I know about this company. I know what they're focused on. I mean, that knowledge comes from my experience in that meeting.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a win. I mean, anyway,
a win in disguise. Right?
My philosophy in life is I win.
Yeah.
I win in every day. I win. I just want to know where I give myself grace to win.
Yeah.
So if I win in knowledge, I gain something. It's never a loss. So a lot of people say, "Oh my God, I lost that. I could have done. I could." The could have and the should have are like words that I feel that we should cut off our equation.
When we replace it with will.
Yeah.
Right? I could have. Oh, I will do it.
Yeah.
I should have. Oh, I will do it.
Yeah. And
right?
will and in the present. And I didn't get that. Well, I said yet. You didn't get
Yet.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, people leave off the yet.
Yeah, and I think it's just
Yeah.
it could be like now verbal semantics that we're talking. Yeah, these guys are just talking about semantics.
No, it's frame of mind. It's really
frame of mind
for sure.
Absolutely. Right. So I do that. I coach myself all the time.
Yeah.
I'm that voice that.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'm uncoachable sometimes, and I seek external.
Really?
Yeah, in certain circumstances when I get stuck.
Yeah.
I think this is where I look for other mentors, people who are my NLP
That's when
trainers.
They come in. Okay. Can you tell me about your mentors? And have
I
you always
have
had one? I mean, who's your earliest mentor? I always start with that. Who's your earliest mentor?
I have my earliest mentor is my mom, my late mother.
Someone always close to us, right?
Yeah, my late mother.
Yeah.
And I think it hit me badly when I lost her 2 years ago due to cancer.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
Yeah, thank you. So it was a big pivot in my life. I felt that I've lost a voice of reason, voice of support. She was there to be very emotionally supportive.
Okay.
For whatever when I thought the idea was crazy, she said, "Oh no, maybe you should look at this." She was that voice.
Wow, she's really
because she's a pharmacist in the industry. And then I think the second mentor, I think that I was my spiritual mentor. I picked up Reiki like 15 years ago.
Okay.
And it's the strangest thing because I'm not religious.
Yeah.
I didn't even know anything about spirituality, but I had a great connection to a feeling that there was something other than
higher power, perhaps?
A higher power, some form of an energy.
Yeah.
So I went for Reiki. So I always tell myself I have 3 mentors. I have now my spiritual mentor.
Yeah.
I have my PT, my trainer.
Oh, okay.
Physical
mentor. Yeah.
And I have my mindset mentor, who's my NLP coach.
Oh, okay. All right.
And everything that you know about training is sparring, isn't it?
Yeah.
Or exercising is about pushing yourself.
Right,
At my age, we're lifting weights.
Okay, good. That's very good, by the way.
Building strength.
Yeah.
And I'm listening to learning about how to build muscles because we're losing muscle. Yes.
Especially in our 40s, 50s, and 60s.
And understanding that our the body composition is changing. So I'm educating myself there. So I believe that in all aspects, to grow is to push the limits I mean, how can you grow? You can't grow by just sitting here and say,
No.
I'm growing.
No.
I mean, you can't
Stress.
grow when you're
We need
correct.
stress
Yes,
on our
and stress
body.
is good. I mean,
Stress is
stress
good.
is not, it's not a bad thing.
No, it's a very
Stress is
good
like a
thing.
pendulum.
Yep.
So if we can't control it,
Yeah.
control stress,
Controlled, that's it. Yep.
that's where it's bad.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
bad for you. It's good stress. So for me, I'm a high functioning person around stress. So I need to move. This is me, And then, it was very funny. Yesterday, we had an exercise with our forum, and they said, can you key these questions into ChatGPT?
Mm-hmm.
And I said, what frustrates you, right? And the first thing that ChatGPT came out for me was slow walkers in a fast lane. Like, get out of my way. Indecision kills me. Yeah.
So you asked ChatGPT to tell you what, with all the conversations that you have, to identify what stresses you.
Yeah.
And it was spot on, right?
Spot on,
it's
because
scary.
it is scary,
but it's a powerful tool, though.
but it's obviously it's a language model, so
Yes.
it actually just picks up my how I'm asking the question, what sort of questions I'm asking, and it's learning from there. It's just basically learning from input. Right? If I don't engage with it, it won't learn anything about me, correct? But I do. So it is,
the more you engage, the more accurate it is.
And so it's
very accurate when I ask it about me.
So
nice.
It's my character. Okay. I think I function. I'm always on the go.
Yeah.
And what frustrates me is indecision.
Okay.
People going, and then whiny people.
Can I get back to you?
Oh, I'm a victim. This happened to me.
Yeah. A lot of victim
I wish that he would be nicer. I'm like, just don't engage. I mean, you either suck it up, right, or don't engage or change.
Yeah. So I love that. Suck it up.
Well, I mean,
like,
you want this. I always tell people, when they complain, I'm like, how is it a problem for you?
Yeah.
And they say, oh, I feel depressed. I said, okay, how is it a problem for you to feel depressed? Because you're choosing to feel that, right?
Yep.
Then just don't engage. Oh, I can't because he's... No, I said, there's no I can't, because it's a choice, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that the pivot, or rather the learning, is very much taking accountability, being accountable for your actions. That's important. Understanding that I'm always telling myself I'm fully accountable for what's happening to me, because I choose it. There are only a couple of things I do, maybe like a hurricane or earthquake I can't be in, or maybe an accident, but everything else is a choice, right?
Yeah.
Coming here is a choice.
Absolutely.
Speaking to you is a choice.
Yeah.
Talking is a choice. So it's not possible that a person is not responsible for their actions. 100% responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the moment I realized that, the point about taking responsibility for actions is you can change.
Yep. Absolutely, we can change
if
we want
to. Most people just don't want it enough. People say,
it's uncomfortable. Change is uncomfortable. Yeah, I find that, like, my mom does not like change, right? She knows that, like, it's good examples. Like, my parents are around 70, plus or minus. They can afford a very nice lifestyle if they move to Malaysia. They're living in California. They still have to keep working in California to maintain even a middle class lifestyle. But if they liquidate their assets and then convert that to income producing assets, they can come to Malaysia and live at the T20 level. But my mom doesn't like change. They love it. Come here all the time, like, make that 18-hour trip twice a year at least. They complain about it, of course. But then once they hear that, they eat durian and S2 every day. They love it. They love She loves bargaining. Right? In the U.S., you can't really bargain, right? The prices with the price. They love everything. I'm like, so you love it here. Why don't you do it full time? Be happy. Spend your money. Don't leave us a dime, right? spend our inheritance. Oh, and then my dad was like, oh, mom doesn't want to move out of her house in California. So change is, I think, I find the older generations are very averse to change, and the mindset that we have, because we've climbed to the top in our industries, we embrace change and we constantly, not everything of course, but generally speaking, we are always trying to push the limits for change,
I think so. And I
right?
think you've touched upon a very good point, which is the inertia, or rather, not that their inability to change, but I think fear. Sometimes it's
The
fear.
fear.
Yeah. The fear of the unknown.
Oh.
And I think that's where entrepreneurs in general, we are wired differently because, either we have some form of a mechanism to overcome this fear. Some people put a face to the fear and face it. Some people just say, okay, I don't see it. I don't see it. I literally do not see it, and I'm going for it. Maybe some people pop the immune pill and they just go.
Yeah.
But whatever it is, I think that's the many entrepreneurs that I've met that are so creative and be able to be courageous enough to disrupt or create something new, have this characteristics about themselves, or rather this character, this drive.
Yeah.
And I think I resonate with that. And that's where I think EO has many entrepreneurs that actually, when we are together and we are sharing these ideas or creative ways of solving issues, or just basically how we see the world from a very different perspective, that really excites me. And I think that is where the attraction of being in a community of entrepreneurs where you are, lifelong learning from each other.
Yeah.
And this is where I think the training is important. I say it's a training because we go through training.
Yeah.
It's the way we communicate with other entrepreneurs. It's the respect. It's the respect of their experience. Leaving the ego at the door. And this is where I think people who are not in the community feel that, they're, this class of entrepreneurs. Actually, it's not. It's the way we speak to each other to create the safe space for learning. So the entire organization has a few good tenets, and one of the key thing that drives me to it is learning from each other.
Yeah.
The external learning they bring in, it's just priceless, because and it's never ending learning, because if you meet someone else, he or she may have a very different perspective to what you're going through.
Constant growth.
Constant growth.
Because it's all part of it. It's like, yeah, well, I personally had a bad relationship with the process of learning in school, right? in that format. But now with our technology, with YouTube, with with all the social media channels, the algorithms detect that I like to learn and they feed me the stuff, right? So I now have a good relationship with my version of learning, and I like that EO, the format, from what I've seen, is bringing outside different perspectives for learning. So next month, I'm going to be on a panelist for what's the EPF, right? KWSP, right? So they have, most people that KWSP have been there a long time, right? And they don't go out, they don't send them out because it's not practical or something like that, and they're comfortable in their position. So I'll be attending as panelist for their it's called the K conference, right? Knowledge conference. So the same thing as EO, they bring outside to give their team a different perspective.
Yes.
So champions of industry, like Chef Juan will be there. Shay Mustafa, astronaut. Yeah, different champions of industry coming in to give them a different perspective.
Wow.
So it's very similar.
Yes.
I think this is one of the best ways to learn, right? And it's what we were trying to achieve at the Olympian Mindset as
Yes.
well, bringing the outside in, but then for the masses,
Yeah.
for the right, yeah.
So this is where my journey of coaching began. I think it was 6 years ago.
Yeah.
When one of the facilitators in EO, actually, they have a program called the Accelerator Program.
Oh, yeah. Familiar with that.
Then within the Accelerator Program, they ran a couple of, every year there will be a program for startups or young businesses that want to, join EO but may not qualify. I mean, there's certain qualifications for EO from a revenue perspective.
Right.
And I was an invited speaker, and when I went there and spoke about execution, the chair came up to me and said, "Would you want to be a coach?" I'm like, "Why?" Why do I want to, first thing I asked, which was very honest for myself, why? Why do I want to spend my time coaching 4 people every month for 1 day? As an accountability coach, because in the program, after they teach, they have the syllabus, then you have to go monthly with them. They have to sit with you and say, have you done this? Have you done this?
Yep.
So it didn't appeal to me. And then she said, hey, we give training to coaches. So because I was there's something else I can learn.
Yeah, yeah.
I thought, okay, this would be interesting for my company.
Yeah.
So I was more interested from, I would confess, a more selfish standpoint, because I wanted the materials.
Okay.
So when I was trained as a coach, I realized that there was a lot of gaps. For example, execution, how we saw cash, how we saw strategy, how we saw human resource. There was a lot of, we could fill in, individual coaches could fill in from our experience. And this is, I think, what makes the program very rich.
Yeah.
And in a blink of an eye, I volunteered for, 6 years, and I had every year I would have 4 businesses coming. And I think that I finished this, I think this year was my last year.
2 dozen. You've coached over 2 dozen.
Yeah. And
mentees.
from every aspect of business, we had retail, we had F&B.
Okay.
We had all
quite diverse.
Very diverse, very different journeys.
Yeah.
And one thing I think, the commonality of every coachee or every mentee is everyone comes with a mindset to not that they didn't have the aspiration or the goal to be successful. They just needed some form of an alignment.
Okay.
And how I explained it was very simple. It's like, you see me as how I wish, to be that entrepreneur, like you, like the rest, in name and lights. I said, forget about all this. We're just further along in the journey like you are.
Yeah.
We're just really we're just here and you're here. Maybe you've started. We just, as you take a snapshot, we're just at this part of our journey and you're here.
Yeah.
And sky's the limit. So a lot of people that I think I've coached or I've mentored are simply that. They probably, in my mind, needed that alignment. Sometimes they needed an uplift. They needed a cheerleader in me.
Yeah.
Sometimes they needed validation.
Yeah.
But I found towards the more closer groups that I've conducted, was more of a me holding space for them to grow. A safe space for them to say, this is my journey, and not have anyone judge them in a way.
Yeah.
And I think that's the beauty of, like I say, the community. So this is the training that all of us have. Our conduct in forum and how we conduct ourselves with fellow entrepreneurs, actually, I feel is a conduct in life. Because Yeah, so what if my business is X number and your business is X number? We're still entrepreneurs, so
Yeah.
we are peers.
Yeah.
Not enough of that is said about people out there. Like, why should I talk to you? You know, your revenue is not only 1 million.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a listed
Metrics.
company. I'm a
Yeah.
listed company. I mean, you are nothing,
Yeah.
right?
People are really set on the metrics, but it's like at the end of the day, we all go to the same place, right? At the end of the day, we all have the same time every day.
Yes.
And at the end of the day, we're all human.
Yeah.
So
And
those people are just so focused on metrics.
it is important when
Of course,
you are.
there is. It
I
is
mean, you're in a
relevance
it's relevant
for
when
sure.
when we are competing, when
Yeah.
we are even growing a business and providing livelihoods for others.
Oh, for
You
sure.
need a profitable business to
Yeah.
be able to generate cash, to be able
Yeah.
to hire people. I mean, all that metrics. I mean, nobody is. I mean,
To
we're
make
not
an
talking
impact.
about.
Make an
Yeah.
impact.
But the real
Yeah.
question is, why are you an entrepreneur?
Yeah.
I mean, the first question I always ask the coaches is, what are you trying to achieve? What problem are you trying to solve for
Yeah.
us? I mean, you know, and if that focus is so passionate to that individual, who's to say that 500,000 business or 1 million business is no better than $100 million business?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's that person's vision.
Yeah.
So I dispel that myth and I go, I want to grow 10. You had a coachee come up to me and said, every time we go for these classes, they are trying to get us to go 10 times, grow
10x.
Yeah, 10x.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah. Hear that a lot.
don't
right?
really want to
Yeah.
grow 10x. I said, okay. I said, why don't you want to grow 10x?
Yeah.
He says, oh, because my vision is to build an experience, right? And she is in the food industry.
Yeah.
So I asked her, I said, very simple question, can you keep the lights on? I said,
Yeah.
yes. Are you comfortable? I said, yeah, I make enough money for my lifestyle. So what is the problem? I
Yeah.
don't see a problem for you. Why do you need to be coached?
Yeah.
So I said, but she wasn't looking for scale. She was just looking
That's
for
interesting.
validation for some of the things that she was thinking about, that
Okay.
she felt that because she wasn't thinking like the rest of the people that were thinking 10x, she felt
Yeah.
less off.
Oh.
Something is wrong with me
Interesting.
because I'm not growing with. And
Hmm.
do we actually build a business to grow 10 times to have like 100 outlets? I mean, that may be the goal for
Yeah.
certain businesses. They may want to list,
Yeah.
they want to
Yeah.
unlock
Yeah.
the monetary value of what they built. But people build businesses for very different reasons.
True. And some grow more than 10x with that mindset of just to change other people, just to help other people. Right? They don't have the 10x mindset grow, but then they just want to make the best product or service, and then they end up growing 100x because
Yeah.
they do it so well.
Exactly. And
Right?
and she's one of the things she was struggling with, I remember, was to price her product. Like, oh, I need to price it. I said, why? Because you actually are a craft in itself, because you are investing your research into making the best flavors.
Yeah.
And why do you need to price yourself like your competitors?
Yeah.
You're obviously selling a premium product because you've poured, your R&D into it
Yeah.
with the flavoring.
Yeah.
So why just be a premium product, be a craft,
Yeah.
and earn enough money so that you
Keep
can
the
keep the
lights
lights
on.
on, get your team ready, and
Yeah.
think about how what's your next best thing. If your
Yeah.
next thing is, okay, I have enough of this is a one thing, but I have maybe a diffusion line to grow 10x, then you
Yeah.
can probably go 10x.
Yeah.
So I think she just needed that space. That's the first thing. And what was very interesting was the mindset that it was weird and that she didn't think that she wanted to grow or become a gazillionaire or to get
Yeah.
listed or to get her name in lights. She didn't want that. She just wanted to perfect this passion that she had. And
Yeah.
who's to say that? Then she said, oh yeah, but my numbers. I said, who are you showing these numbers to? Are you raising funds? They said, no. Then who's going to judge you?
Yeah. What does it
You're
matter?
judging yourself. What does it matter?
Other than you?
Exactly.
to you.
Yeah, but of course, if you're struggling and you can't pay the bills,
Yeah.
then you have to do something. But
Yeah.
hey, if you're happy on this journey, who's to say the path that you're walking is
Yeah.
wrong? So I
Yeah.
think it's very much connecting to really, and then so that's why I could say that when you asked the question, what was the commonality between all the mentees? It was not that they were
Yeah.
coming with problems that they need. A lot of people actually said, "Oh, coach can solve problems." I don't solve any problems. In fact, I ask a lot of questions.
Yeah.
As
yeah,
a coach, I'm a mirror to what the situation is. I'm not there to provide. I mean, sometimes I advise, obviously.
Yeah.
I switch between coach, counselor, advice, mentor. But I think that's what makes the relationship very rich.
Yeah.
But they expect like, oh, this is my problem. How do I solve it? I mean, perhaps, yes, I had a similar problem then that maybe I could give you some guide, but that was not what I did in my coaching sessions. A lot of what I did was to ask the questions. And it's through the questions that you ask and the listening, they actually find themselves solving their own issue because they have
Yeah.
this alignment, the realization that that's my sole purpose. And I think I found that in myself as well, because in the process, I found a lot of the messaging that I'm hearing is also the messaging I'm hearing internally. So there's a lot of introspection. I don't know how to say it. So this is
Yep.
where the spirituality, the connection to my, I suppose, soul purpose, you call it, reason for living, purpose of life.
Yeah. Yeah. So since that's come into your world, your life, how has that impacted everything else? Like for someone who's not familiar with all this, right? Let's sell it to them, right? So how has it impact? In what ways has it really empowered?
So I think the journey of I know the journey of coaching has brought me to a very deep introspection of what I made of myself. Um, I realized that in the early on in the business, it was always I needed to get that deal. I needed to go and get that. There was not enough money in the account. I needed to go and do this. I needed to sell. I'm everywhere. And I remember in my first business, my husband used to tell me, you have 50 people, but you're the only one working. Because you have a problem with merchandising, you'd be there. Having the CFO will come and say, we have no money to pay suppliers, and I'd be there with the banks.
Okay.
I'd be everywhere filling in.
Yeah.
And then it's literally taken me years, many years to understand that I don't need to be there. I don't need to push myself to failure. Because that's how I feel all the time. Because I feel, you can't do it, I'll do it.
Oh, yeah.
You can't do it, don't worry, I'll do it.
Yeah.
So this is the incessant.
It's a micromanage, not micromanage.
It's
but
not.
like,
It's this energy that's incessantly
right.
trying to push me forward.
Okay.
So what I've learned, and with spirituality and the practice of all this healing, and now dabbling in tarot reading for someone like me, allows me that quietness. There is strength in stopping, actually. Curiously.
Stopping in the moment. Being in the moment.
Being in the moment, and you can, people have different names for it. It's being present, mindful.
Mindfulness.
So now I get it. I get why people meditate. I often we went for meditation, whatever. I'm like, why would people want to meditate? Like, I'd be thinking about things. It's like the minute spent meditating with a minute spent thinking about solving something.
Yeah.
That's a time wasted when I'm solving something. Why are you sitting?
Do that? Well, it's not.
Yeah, it's not productive.
It's not productive. Yeah.
So now I realize that letting go, letting things be,
resetting,
being it's not being on, and now I find a lot of joy being with myself.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I take a lot of time just sort of thinking.
Yeah.
Not
Compared to
doom
before.
scroll.
So before you always want to be around people, right? Then
Well,
or
I
what?
am kind of like a dual personality. I like to be around people, but then I do a lot of reading and I read a lot.
Okay.
I don't doom scroll or anything. I just read a lot of articles. I'm not a book person. I read a lot of
Yeah,
articles.
I'm the same.
I'm
Yeah.
always researching something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Somebody telling me something, I'll be, oh, that's interesting. I'll be Googling,
Mhm.
like, oh, I'm learning something. And I
Learning,
think
yeah.
my firstborn takes after me, and he
Okay.
has this gift of
Yeah.
I feel he's gifted. He's gifted in a way that he's able to connect two facts that are not connectable and put them
Mhm.
together. And he's remarkable memory. So he takes after me in that sense. He's always very innately curious.
Okay.
And that's the thing that
That's
comes
great.
out with
Yeah.
people, because when you
Yeah.
meet someone, when you're innately curious, you become very attractive to others. They want to
Yeah.
talk to you because no one wants to meet a person that wants to talk about themselves.
Oh yeah, that's true.
They don't want to
That's
hear
true.
about you.
Yeah.
And but when you ask, they
Wanna
say, "Oh, how
engage.
interesting!" You know,
Yeah.
I'm always asking. I'm like, "Oh, I mean, not to judge because that's my training." Then I'm
Yeah.
thinking, "Okay, I'm judging now."
Yeah.
And then and also the other I think very useful quality about coaching, about learning, is being able to agree to disagree. You have two different points of view,
Yeah.
but that person disagreeing with you doesn't mean that you can't get on with them.
Yeah.
They just have a very different view.
That's it.
And
There's
I
nothing wrong
think
with that. You can
and
have
you
to.
and
Yeah.
you just have
Yeah.
that ability to respect,
Yeah.
and the respect accorded to the person is to listen.
Yeah.
To listen to understand, not to listen to criticize and listen to say,
Yeah.
oh, you can't say that because I think this. Again, no one wants to hear your point of view when they're expressing an opinion.
Yeah.
And sometimes you're giving an opinion that no one asked for, right?
Yeah,
Everybody has opinion,
yeah.
right?
Yeah. Well,
I stop
learning
myself.
that skill. If I want to help someone, I ask them, would you be open to
Yeah.
blah blah blah? Because if you just tell them, yeah, you it's friction, right? You rub them the wrong way. Same thing, I have people that telling me like from nowhere. I didn't ask. I didn't know who they are, what they've done, but all of a sudden they didn't like edify themselves. Basically like, why should I listen to you? Right. You're just a
Exactly.
stranger, right? I get that a lot too, right? I
Yeah.
mean, and I've done it too. I mean, I've been guilty of that too,
Yeah,
right?
we bite our tongue, especially a person like me that is like quick off the mark.
Yeah,
And
same. And you
you
always
know,
want to. It comes from a good place. We always want to help
yeah,
because we're professional coaches or
yeah,
mentors or whatnot. Now, hold that thought a bit, because when we're talking about balancing,
mm,
I'm a fairly new parent, right? And you're busy, you're an entrepreneur, you got all these things, moving parts. Parenting. Let's talk about, since we already got into that, balancing being a good or great parent and being able to fit that in our crazy hectic lives.
yeah. Because my husband and I, we are both A-type people,
Right.
so we have very strong views.
Mm.
And what I think, I'm in no position to give any parenting advice. I can only share because every child is different.
Absolutely.
So here are my philosophies, and I can share the outcomes because I'm always measuring.
Yeah.
Even with parenting against
again,
my about the product, which is
Yeah.
basically the kids.
Yeah. Well, I just want to hear your
Yeah,
perspective.
yeah,
It's just a different perspective.
So
How did you approach?
I think for my firstborn, I had a
So
lot
how
of
old
guilt.
how old is he now?
He's 23 this year.
23. Okay.
He's working in the US.
Okay.
Um,
Okay. Wait. How many kids? Tell the. We have to talk about the audience.
I have three.
3.
23, and
23.
then one girl that's 21,
21.
and I have a 16 going on 17-year-old.
Girl?
Guy,
Guy.
boy.
Okay.
Boy.
Boy, girl, boy.
Yeah.
Okay.
So two
Great.
boys,
Three
one
is
girl.
good. Did you plan to have three or just
No, I think the third one is not an accident, but it's a gift of
It's a gift.
sorts.
Okay,
Yeah,
a surprise.
So, a
Okay.
prize.
All right.
So I had a lot of guilt with my 23-year-old because that was
Oh.
when I had a lot of issues with my startup.
Ah,
And I didn't realize I had this. I had to go to therapy for this guilt
Okay.
thing. NLP actually helped me
Okay.
release all this guilt that I had. I didn't even know I had embedded in me.
Interesting.
Yeah, it is. It's like it's very telling for my NLP coach, but not at all. It was blindsided from the fact that I knew that I had any guilt, and I thought, okay, I can have it all, business. But the reality is, like you say, we have finite number of hours every
Yeah.
day, and it's how you choose to spend it. An hour you don't spend with your child is an hour you spend with your business in those times that I
Yeah.
had, and vice versa. So as a parent, as a mother, there's always guilt.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah,
I don't know
I see that.
how
Okay.
women can say, "Oh, I have a work life balance." There's no balance in my book. There's a choice,
Mm-hmm.
and with everything in life, I think with a choice, I have to pay for that choice. It's a
Yeah.
choice you make, and you have to pay for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you don't pay for that choice, that it doesn't give, something doesn't give.
Mhm.
So I paid the price. I paid the price that to live with guilt. I spent NLP therapy helped me to release the guilt and not to blame myself, not to be so hard on myself, because I'm allowed to make choices that
Mhm.
at that time seemed to be the right choice, and then we live with what we have. So that's my philosophy of dealing with guilt, because I, I I don't think I've spoken to a woman or I can recall that someone doesn't have that, oh, I should have spent more time kind of
Yeah.
conversation. And how I approach it now is it's a choice.
Mm.
There were like opportunities presented, you made it, and
Okay.
let's move on. Because
Yeah.
you can't open that Pandora box and start, rummaging and saying, oh, those days I could have hired this, I could have done this.
Yeah.
The could have conversations would just spiral you into guilt. And that's what
Can't
happened to
change
me.
it.
Can't change
change
it.
it.
But
Yeah.
you know what? You can be better. So with the second child, I think I sort of had an easier role because she was born when the business was kind of stable.
Okay.
So she didn't have
Right.
that much of a angst.
Yeah, she had a different mom a little bit, right?
And that's a good point. All my children experience me as a person differently.
Yeah. Interesting. So do you have vastly different relationships with all of them?
I would say different relationships, yes.
Yeah.
As it's the way they engage with me that's different.
Okay, that's interesting.
My second, my daughter is tremendously resourceful. She
Okay.
is a
Oh.
traveler, a world traveler.
Yeah.
She's fearless, she's brave, she's very steeped in confidence.
Okay.
And she's a perfectionist.
Okay.
She's the kind that would like, oh, that's not right, I'm not going for that. And I think her engagement and my kind of mindset with her was to push her out of a comfort zone. Because remember I said perfectionists are somewhat dealing with their self-confidence actually.
Yeah.
A person who is a perfectionist is, in my mind, less confident of their own abilities actually.
Always
Because
self-doubting. There's
Yeah,
always
because-
a self-doubt.
because
Is it good enough?
yeah, because there is that safety, right?
Right.
Oh, it's not good enough. I'm a
No.
perfectionist, and therefore,
Yeah.
So
Uh-huh.
so that's my
Okay.
agenda with her, and I think that she's turned into this beautiful human being.
Yeah.
Always caring, compassionate, and resourceful. And she's my youngest. It's very different. He is very creative because he wants to go into music. He would see the his journey. He's more risk adverse
Okay.
than the other two. He's creative, but he's like, okay, I'm not doing that. I'm very compliant.
Mm-hmm.
So my engagement with him is that, oh, you may not appreciate fully that situation if you only think about the risk. Because, he's really bogged down with risk
Oh
and
yeah.
the
Okay.
fear. So no, I'm not going for
Interesting.
that.
Yeah, very interesting.
So
Oh,
so my philosophy with parenting is it's a different it's challenging, it's
yeah.
tiring,
Yeah. It
but
is.
we wear different parental hats with
Yeah.
different children. Now that's how I would
Okay.
share that. So literally, I'm a different parent with different children. I
Hmm.
have this mindset because
Okay.
they need different things because they
Yeah,
come
yeah,
from
yeah.
different times of their life.
That's true. That's true. Well, I have three girls too, but one inherited recently. So my
Oh,
oldest is inherited is my wife's
how
first, and
lovely.
I'm in the process of adopting her too. So three girls, 12, 5, and 3. The 5 and 3-year-old, I'm the same because it's a similar time. They're both COVID babies. One's going into COVID, one's coming in out of COVID. Okay, again, very different. The one coming in, okay, that's been a bit more challenging because, okay, my wife held big guilt because she wasn't there for her growing up like she's there. So the oldest one was raised by her parents because she went out to make a better life. So she went from Thailand to Australia to
Oh,
study to find a better life, and then met me, of course. And then now that we have stability, then the grandparents relinquished her back to us. So it's a very different dynamic. And then from my birth kids to adopted. So I'm always thinking like, okay, I kiss both goodnight. I have to kiss. Okay, so always thinking, okay, I have to treat them equally.
yes,
Yeah. I'm like mindful of that, and because it's natural. Like you have more connection with the ones that you actually
yes,
changed their diapers and whatnot, and
yeah.
fed them. And but one thing that I'm very happy about is my decision, not decision, but the phase of being a parent in my 40s. So my firstborn, Athena, he's now 5. I had her just before my 40th birthday,
Oh,
a couple
wow.
months before. And I find that if I would have been a really different parent in my 30s and especially in
Yeah.
my 20s. I'm a lot more patient now, and I'm a lot my ability now to be in the moment and enjoy and to make them a priority is completely different than how I'd have approached it in my 30s or 20s. So it'd be different for everyone as well, but for especially for men, I would highly recommend being a parent a little
Later.
bit later,
Oh,
holding off,
interesting.
doing what you want to do. Go be irresponsible, and then yeah, because we all have to grow,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Be irresponsible, be selfish, do what. Because I spent my 20s, and as an athlete, we are the most selfish people on the planet.
Oh,
Well, I think
how
so,
so?
because everything has to be about us. If we're not thinking
True,
about
true, true.
us, obsessed with that ourselves, we won't be able to be the best. We won't be able to self promote, because actually we're selling all the time. We're selling ourselves, our profile, our image,
Oh,
right?
yes, yes.
But then mid 30s, I retired, and then I only had kids in my late 30s or like pretty much 40s. So I had the opportunity to grow, fast track my growth, and I knew I had to. I knew I had to change. Naturally, being more selfish, I had to start completely transforming myself to now start thinking about others. Then I became a coach. Then I started to train to think about others, and then being an entrepreneur. And yeah, so that came at the right time. Parenting came at the right time. Actually, I never wanted to have kids, and then it just
It just
yeah,
happened.
it just came. It just kind of like my wife now. She says, yeah, I don't want to be on the birth control. It's terrible. I've been on it a while now. It's like, okay, sure, let's have kids, or let's see what happens. Couple
Oh,
weeks later, she handed me an envelope. She was nervous too because her first time it didn't work out, right?
oh, that's
So
such a
my 12-year-old that I'm adopting, she didn't have a dad growing up, right? He walked out, didn't want to be a parent, but so she had that fear that I would do the same.
oh.
So then I was okay, very aware of that. And then I did the opposite, right? So I was very hands-on with everything. Woke up at night and, it was really hands-on and did the whole thing, all the burping, the throwing up, the diapers, everything. But I really embraced that. I really enjoyed that. It's funny. Don't think I would have enjoyed that in my 20s.
It's
Definitely
wonderful, isn't it?
wouldn't have enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Timing.
True.
Timing is letting it happen naturally.
I think
believe
so.
that's
And I think that I differ somewhat with some thinkings out there that, bring up your kids and, you know, I'm quite mindful that I don't want to be living their life. You know how it is that the life that I
We're
didn't
living
live
vicariously through them.
vicariously. Yes,
Yeah.
correct. And
A
I
lot of
think
parents. Do you find a lot of parents
I
do that?
find not a lot of parents that sometimes when I hear these things about, I want my kids to be in finance, it'll be worthwhile to be. But AI has taken all that away. And one
It
of the
is.
wonderful thing
Peop-
about AI is democratized information, skill
Yeah.
sets. It's actually leveled the curve for learning. So
Really, right? It's
yeah,
democratized everything.
it's democratized learning and information to a point where you can have your app. No one wants to be an app developer anymore.
No, yeah,
You want to be a producer. So what it really does is I think it challenges the human mind to
mm-hmm.
find areas in which you can be relevant. Can you
Yep.
imagine
It's
like human race of
Yep.
skill sets? So gone are the days
It's-
where we say, oh, you have to, study law so you can be a good
Yeah.
lawyer.
Yeah.
But no one wants to be a good
Yeah.
lawyer now.
No.
You can go and ask legal GBT and
Yeah,
something can
exactly
come
right.
out. And then people, in
Yeah.
the legal field now say, oh no, that won't happen because you still got. I mean, honestly, it's a matter of time.
Yeah.
It's a matter of time.
Yeah.
So I think the way my philosophy of bringing up my kids was, do something you're deeply passionate about. And I
Yeah.
say this because it's practical, because if you're really passionate about something and you apply your time and interest, you're naturally better than the normal person that is not.
Absolutely. And you're willing to go through more pain because
Exactly.
you love it.
Yeah, you love it.
Your
So
pain is not really as
exactly.
painful as
And
if
I
you
guess
hated it.
yeah, and I guess that's why I'm
Right.
encouraging them to be going after what they like. And it's just
Yeah.
because it's practical,
I
right?
love that. Can
Isn't
I share
it?
with you what my first mentor? My grandma. She told me, Josiah, I was like 10, 12 years old. Josiah, find your passion and figure out how to make a living out of it. I remember like it was yesterday. My grandma was a lifelong music teacher. She
Oh,
taught
wow.
till she lost her hearing. She taught till she was 94 years old. She's 99. She'll be 99 this December. Of course, she has dementia now. So life has gone downhill. The quality of life is no longer there. But she lived till her 90s doing working, but never working. Right? She never worked. So, I mean, I literally listened to her and I figured out my passion was cycling and made a living out of it for over 20 years.
Yeah.
And it resonates with me.
Yep.
With how I bring up my kids, and even down to what institutions I choose for their learning. Their school does not have any teachers.
Oh, wow.
They have guides. They don't have any grades. They have badges.
Wow.
They don't have any exams or homework. So when my 12-year-old moved here from Thai school, which is just like Chinese school, didn't really like learning, but she really wanted to push. She was the top of her class, right? She came here. She loves school. She's in love with school. My girls don't like weekends.
Wow.
This is the biggest thing. They love school because the philosophy of this school is that every child is on a hero's journey.
Mhm.
So
Interesting.
we're empowering them on their hero's journey.
Wow.
Our place is just to support them
Give
with
them
the
the tools.
love tools and the systems to maximize their chances of finding the ultimate journey for them.
Right.
And they don't even have everything's just so different. And I think Elon Musk is trying to start a rival school to the school that my kids go
Oh,
to
really?
with this similar philosophy. Um, yeah, it's called Acton Academy, and it's in BU11 here. There's like 300 globally, but even more intriguing, there's 3,000 on the waiting list.
Wow.
There's
Interesting.
3,000 people wanting to start Acton Academies globally.
Yeah, when you look at global leaders now or people that are highly successful in companies, they've now questioned
Traditional learning,
traditional learning and
no
college
longer
and
relevant.
college education. I mean, there's still a place, I think, for us, understanding that they have to compete at some form of a curriculum and
Right,
compete with the rest
right.
just to earn the, a degree. But I
Their
think
grade or
beyond it,
certificate.
yeah, this,
But don't you think that everyone's doing that now? It doesn't really. Parents are mostly investing 5 to 6 figures into
yeah,
that piece of paper
yeah,
that pretty much everyone else has. So
yeah.
what's the differentiator,
I have two
right?
experiences. My eldest actually in US.
Yeah.
Of course, he did cognitive brain science
Okay.
and computer science as a
Yeah.
double degree.
Okay.
Um, but I think what was interesting about his journey is he took a semester to go to Japan.
Okay. All right.
So he minored in Japanese language. So
Oh
his
wow.
his desire is to work for a US company based out of Japan because that's he loved the Japanese culture.
Okay.
But I mean, just being very open about the
Right.
education. In fact, for him, I thought, why don't you go and try and do go to China,
Yeah.
university there. Oh, I'll never cut it. But he loved the Japanese culture and he picked up
Yeah.
Japanese on his own. So now he
Oh,
can
I
speak
love
and write.
Japanese culture too, and food.
Yeah. So for him, it
Yeah.
was that connection to technology. He was
Okay.
techie,
All
so he's
right.
now in the AI,
Okay.
in
Nice.
the AI
Nice.
industry supporting.
Yeah.
My daughter is in an Ivy League, and yeah, I agree with you. I think
Wearing the
that
hat.
yeah, wearing the hat. Um,
Yeah.
her experience is different because I think when I asked her, I said, "What is the quality of the academic, um, you know, the academic experience?"
Yeah.
And she said it's probably the same with any university that you choose,
Right.
but it's actually the community that is different.
True. Community
It's like
and the branding too.
it's
Branding
the branding
helps.
and I
Right.
think for her, I my encouragement is if you do not go out and explore beyond just the curriculum. That
Yeah.
means being very active socially,
Yeah.
going to go to the clubs,
Right. Right. Right.
the after school kind of clubs, volunteering, just going to explore the opportunities that that whole community presents. You're not going to get
Right.
the
You
most
won't
out of it, yeah,
maximize. Right. So that's
because
the networking
yeah,
skill
it's really
sets.
incredible. The alumni there is because I trained in the UK.
Okay.
Alumni from the UK is and nothing compared to
An
what you have in
American.
the still. Yeah,
Yeah.
from what for what it's worth,
Yeah.
it's happening there at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I know a lot of parents come up to me. Oh no, I don't want to send my kids so far away to the US and guns. Everything to do
Yeah.
with guns. I'm
Yeah.
like, there's guns everywhere. There's guns outside in Malaysia. You just don't see it.
True. True.
But I mean,
But we see the news, right? We watch the news, and
I get
I'm
it, I
fearful
get it.
too. Like
Yeah,
my whole family lives in U.S. and I'm in Malaysia. Part of the reason is because it's not the guns that are a problem.
it's the
It's the
violence.
mental illness. It's the mental health of a lot of Americans
Yeah,
that I see that's going downhill compared to when I grew up there 20 years ago. It's changed. Yes, it was bad then, but it's a lot worse now.
yes. Interestingly, like I said, when my kids came back for summer, they brought some of the American friends to live with us
Yeah.
for the summer, just to spend the summer with us.
Mm.
Again, my interesting cap coming on. A lot of questions. They haven't been to Malaysia before. They're
Okay.
Americans, and
Yeah.
first question is, what do you think? What's
Yeah.
your perspective? How do you guys think that?
On the culture.
From their culture to
Okay.
ours, and very interesting. I mean, it's
Yeah.
very open, and kind of like what you see is what you get for Americans.
That's
When you
true.
don't like it, you would just say it.
Yeah.
There's no like filter here. There's cultural filter,
Very
very little
little filter.
Yeah.
Well,
So and they was
there's no culture, right? American, it's basically a hodgepodge of cultures.
Yeah, and there's no offense.
There's
Like
no
you,
American culture.
you'll be sitting across the table, and then they will have very different political views.
Yeah.
They'll be shooting
Oh, yeah.
across each other, and then and they're pals. It's just how it is. The agree to disagree culture is really big there because everybody has very different views, and
Oh,
they've
yeah.
learned to. I mean, there's a lot of more respect here and things that are not
That's
said.
true.
But sometimes it's not good to have things that are not said. It just
There's an extreme, like there's a balance there. Like, okay, maybe Japanese would be the extreme, I would say, because it's like you can't even bring that up.
Yeah.
Or in some things in Chinese culture,
yes,
with
correct.
with the respect your elder, or your you can't talk back at your mom, that kind of
Yes,
thing, right?
I mean that's a lot to do with our culture, but I was very curious about their thinking, their overall thinking, and I like to think that not everything is bad. Like you
yeah.
just hit one culture and say everything is
Yeah.
bad. So there are a lot of strengths in how they see things.
Yeah, absolutely. Agree with
That
that.
was actually
Yeah.
very refreshing, and
Yeah.
through it all, I think for my kids, my
Yeah.
only concern for them was the safety all the time.
Yeah, of
I
course.
always tell my daughter, I said,
Yeah.
just be safe,
It's that
be
street smart, right?
sensible.
Yeah.
In every
Common
city.
sense.
Yeah,
Common
exactly.
sense.
And that's how I brought them up. And I think
Yeah.
I brought them up to be resourceful, be independent, confident.
Yeah.
So they could easily sort of like go into a room, carry on a conversation. I brought them to an event and off they went. They made friends. So it's kind of like, I guess they're citizens of the world. They can be everywhere. They can pack the bag and go to Berlin and set up for all I care.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, they can survive.
Yeah.
Um,
You gave them the tools. You helped them with their
exactly,
tools.
and to me, that's what education is.
Yeah.
Of course, there's a part that's missing that we've always discussed, which is common questions Malaysian parents ask me is, "Hey, your son and daughter not coming back?"
Oh, yeah, interesting. Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
always wondered why
normal.
the coming back thing is a big thing with most people.
I'm-
It's the only question that people ask me when they learn that my children are in the US.
Mm.
So they're staying there. Your son has a job. I said yes, he has a job, and he's got the work visa now, so it's in the process of converting into the H1B, which
Okay.
is a work visa.
Yeah.
That's what he wants.
Yeah.
That's what he wants to extract. His idea is to extract the maximum value out of his college degree, and maybe he'll do something, learn something,
Yeah.
and then people will come up to me and say, "Why Malaysia not good enough? Not coming back." I'm like,
Yeah.
he's at the stage where he's 23, and I mean, if he has an opportunity, and
Go
he's
with it, right?
independent, he's
Yeah.
self-sufficient, he earns his
Yeah.
keep. We
Yeah.
don't give him any money. He
Yeah.
goes out there, whirls the
Yeah.
oyster.
Yeah.
Why ask him to come back?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
because they'll take care of you when you're old. I'm
That's
like,
that is what everyone always said. You don't
I
have
said, okay.
kids to take care of you when you're old.
but it seems
Well,
to be the default
But that's the
thinking.
default.
That's
It
the default
is.
thinking, which I respect. A lot of
Yeah,
people
it
actually
is.
tell some, not a lot, but
Right.
some people actually say, okay, I'm gonna send my kids overseas, but
Yeah.
the condition is they come back and take care of me, which is fine.
Yeah.
Every family has different. It's not right or wrong. It's
Right,
just
right.
how you're brought up.
Yeah, that's true. I
Um,
hear that. It's just so strange to me, though.
So then I put myself in my position in thinking all the time, thinking my kids are now independent and they're off doing their thing.
Yeah.
And all I ask of them is, are they happy doing
Yeah.
what they're doing? I mean,
Yeah.
and wherever they are in the world, are they safe?
Yeah.
Are they getting the right support mentally?
Yeah.
So it's a very different thinking. Now, the question of old age and what I'm going to do is it's a me issue, my husband's issue. We both
Right.
actually, married. Obviously, we have
Yeah.
commitment to each other as
Right.
a spouse.
Right.
We have our different plans
Okay.
that may or may not. I mean, hopefully involve the children. I mean, obviously
Yeah.
we
But there are
hope
no
that we're
guarantees.
yeah,
There are
but
no guarantees, right?
I kind of
Right.
put it forward to people and say that, of course, my wish is for them to be close to me.
Same.
Of course, that's my wish,
Yeah.
but it's not a
given.
given, and it's
Yeah.
not a burden. I mean,
It
it's not
shouldn't.
some.
It shouldn't be a burden. That's
I don't know. I don't. And some people actually differ from me and say, "Oh, that's not a burden. That's that's their duty." I said,
yeah.
"Well, you
I
can
hear
see it.
that.
I suppose if you can say it's a duty,
Yeah.
I do agree
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I take care of my parents. My parents are. I mean, my dad. Obviously, my dad is
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
My mom, when she had cancer, I took care of my father-in-law,
Yeah.
and then my mother-in-law lives with me, and
Yeah.
she has dementia.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
Oh,
all
now,
that is
okay.
because you see, Simone, is a duty. I'm like, I don't really actually. If I be very honest with myself, I would say it's something you do for someone that you love.
You love, right? Right.
I love
right.
my husband, and
Yeah.
this is what I want to do
Yeah.
to ensure that everyone is happy.
Yeah. Yeah.
It also allows
It's
me
true. You're right.
a belief. My
Yeah.
key belief is that it allows me to practice my compassion.
Yeah.
Because if I care for somebody that
Yeah.
needs care, it's a two-way street.
That's true. It did
Uh,
for us when we're growing up. I mean, they had a choice.
yeah.
They
So it's a
chose to-
choice I made. I
Same.
made.
Yeah.
So is it fair for me to tell my kids now? Say, okay, you see this, you now have to do that for me when I'm.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know about that though. I just I haven't come to a point where I know how to answer that question. It's like,
Yeah.
is it what do you expect of your children? And now my answer is my kids, the way they are and where they're living is a product of the education or that journey that I put them through. I
Mhm.
made this happen for them.
Yeah.
They are what they are because of the
Because of
kind of education or my perspective and philosophy of parenting has produced this.
Yeah.
So that's the result. So
Yeah.
now I can't possibly say, oh, I've done all this, but you have to come back, take care of me.
Yeah. Yeah. You have to give up your.
But
your
it wasn't
life.
the intention
Yeah.
anyway. So
Yeah.
I just question myself. When people ask me this question, I'm thinking, oh, how do I answer it? So my simplistic answer is, well, they are what they are because of their upbringing, and
Right.
we expose them to this.
Right.
If we had wanted them to come back,
Don't send
why
them.
do we
Don't
send them
right.
to international school, expose
Right.
them to this ideas, and tell them that they can be whoever they want to be if they're
Yeah.
passionate, and then
And
say
then tell
no,
them that
your
you have to
world is
come back.
Malaysia.
You have to come back, take care of me.
No,
when I'm
I mean,
old.
I
Like, yeah,
don't. Then
Yeah.
again, I don't say that they won't come back. Maybe they will set up here one
You don't know.
time.
Yeah.
When they are, when they want to set up their business, it's easier in
Much
Southeast Asia.
easier. So yeah, entrepreneurs will likely come back. I noticed that entrepreneurs do come back.
Maybe we'll do something here. Who
Yeah.
knows?
Yeah.
And
yeah,
why do
yeah.
we suffer the future when we don't even
don't
know
know.
what their
Yeah.
plans are?
And we have 3.
Yeah.
So the chances are that someone will be here.
Yeah,
Which
fingers
is nice.
crossed. My wish is,
across the
or at
fingers,
least
right?
we are like a very short plane ride away.
Yeah.
Or
Right.
car ride
Yeah.
away.
Well, okay. Maybe it's a good excuse to get. I know a lot of parents that are, their kids are in different countries, and they just a good excuse to keep it fresh. Couple months here, couple months there, wherever the grandkids are, they go, and
Yeah.
that keeps life interesting,
Yes, absolutely.
right? And then they looks like they're having a great time. Of course, there's an age where that's more difficult. Then obviously they have to make choices, but while they can,
True.
make
True.
hay while the sun shines.
True.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, family is a very interesting part, and I love that we've gone deeper into that. Now, so we've had a great conversations and very 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 interesting, very fulfilling. I like to wrap each session up with a rapid fire Olympian mindset round.
Wow. Okay.
Okay? So very, very quick answers. Um, what's one belief you've changed in the last 5 years?
One belief that I've changed is I've got to be on top of everything. I think letting go and waiting on how things come out is a change in belief. I practice that now.
Ah, awesome. What's your personal mantra during tough times?
Um, Tough times, I tell myself, won't last.
It's only fleeting.
It's only fleeting.
That's a good one.
Anyway, I combine that with your first question, which says tough times, tough times, just do what tough times demand.
Yeah.
It's like, on rainy days, just go out with an umbrella. Rainy days, you do rainy things.
That's right. That's a good one. Love it. Your proudest moment as a mentor?
So my proudest moment as a mentor is quiet success when they credit a lot of their success to themselves. Surprisingly, many people will say, why shouldn't they be crediting some learning to you? But I think what it is that they credit to themselves and then they share these moments with me personally. And I shared this experience a very few days ago. Someone I mentored was a C-suite lady for a year. When I mentored her or I coached her, she was just managerial level at one of the large companies here in Malaysia. And then towards the end of our mentorship, she accepted a job that took her to Thailand. And she thought it was so significant and so memorable for her to share a photo of a factory that she helped build
Okay.
in Thailand. And she said, and I said, oh my God, it was just a photo. And I said, Simone, I just wanted to share this opening with you. This before and after that and I made this happen, basically sharing with me that I made this happen. And
cool.
And I said, wow, kudos to you. I'm so happy. And she said, thank you so much for your support and always being there. And I'm always remembered, for me, it's so meaningful that somebody remembers the conversations, not just the outcome, but just the conversations, the engagement and the value from that. So I think that was not so much the definition of success, but rather meaningful incidences.
Fulfilling. And
Very fulfilling incidences.
Nice. Okay, last question. One trait every leader must cultivate.
I think clearly it's empathy.
Empathy. Okay.
It's empathy. Understanding, I think, where people are coming from.
Putting yourselves in their shoes.
Understanding the background, understanding the context, their perspective, especially why they're saying what they're saying, why they think what they're saying is right, is fundamental in actually, it's all about data points. It's all about collecting more data points when you make a decision, I think. And because I think that logically, understanding where that person is coming from is instrumental when that person is influencing the deal for you or buying that product from you or engaging with you and making your life a better place. Because as you know, the people that we deal with can make your life good or bad. And I think that where we started talking about coming full circle about you're accountable for your actions and you can control the outcome. I think this is one of them. Being empathetic from where people are, from their point of view, actually allows a leader to make better decisions.
Absolutely. Or even if there's in sales, make a better deal.
Yes,
right?
Absolutely.
Well, Simone, thank you very much. I was bottom of my heart grateful for your time, your effort, your attitude to share with us your wealth of knowledge.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you for having me. I loved it. I
My
enjoyed it a
pleasure.
lot.